Hello. How about now, Stefan? Yeah, there you go. Right. Don't want no feedback. Minimize the feedback. You guys hear me now? Yeah, well, I guess if I could hear myself, you all could hear me too. All right, now K. Right, so K has here, good to go. All right, cool. So K has two forms. The one I use primarily is 4AC minus B squared all over 4A. Right, and this comes from actually C minus B squared all over 4A. So either one of them is fine. They both mean the same thing. Liam Westfield, let's get this bread. All right, thanks, Liam. Let's get this bread. All right, cool. So let's see one of these in action, right? So now I'm doing May 2009, right? This is what the equation they give us, sorry, the expression. And there are, for those on the live, there are a bunch of other things they ask for. So whatever they ask for, I'm going to write down and go through. So I'm going to go through this whole example on the board. And then, of course, I have questions at the side here for you guys to try. For those who are at home, those who are here, you guys have all the questions I have. We have math tomorrow, same 4 to 6, half 6 to half 8 here. We could probably discuss what you guys want to, if it's just multiple choice you want to jam, or if there's any other topic you want to hit besides that. Yeah, somebody was saying bearings. I don't know. You never saw what before? What this piece here?
Yeah.
Right, this and this are equivalent. Let me show you why, right? So, yeah, we have a fraction here, right? And we're subtracting. What's the protocol when you're subtracting fractions? You need a common what? Denominator. So we could use the LCM. What's 1 multiplied by 4a? That's 4a, right? 1 into 4a goes how many times? 4a times. And they multiply that by the numerator. 4a by c will just give us 4ac. 4a into 4a goes how many times? And 1 by b squared will give us 1 by b squared is b squared. We said 4a into 4a goes 1 time, and then 1 by b squared is b squared, right? Shout out to Brianna Burris. Kaylan, come. Right, cool. All right, so let's take a look and see how we would do this particular question here, right? So we have. Was that sorry? This is May 2009. That's correct. Yes, plus 1. All right, so let's identify the values of a, b, and c, shall we? So a is equal to 2, b is equal to minus 3, and c is equal to 1. Yes, plus 1, right? Okay, so to find the value of h, that's simply b divided by 2a. So b is minus 3 and over 2 by 2. So this will simply simplify to minus 3/4. Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Now to find k, we could do, like I said, I prefer to do 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. Some people use the c minus, they use this format. Whichever one you use is fine. They're both going to give you the same answer. So 4 by a by c is 4 by 2 by 1 minus 3 squared all over 4 by a is 4 by 2, right? Is that the whole one? Sorry. My bad. Right. Right, cool. What's 4 by 2? 8 by 1 is? 8. 8 by 1 is not 9. Minus 3 squared is minus 3 by itself, which gives us 9. But we're subtracting that. Alright, and the denominator, 4 by 2 is? 8. What's 8 minus 9? Minus 1. So we have minus 1 8. Therefore, the answer would be that 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 would be equal to, so once again, we wanted to go to this form. A, open brackets, x plus h, all squared, plus k. A is 2. X plus, now we're adding minus 3/4, so the minus will cancel the plus. And then plus k, we're adding minus 1/8, so the minus will cancel the plus. So that is the completed square form. Alright, so does anybody, sorry what? Right, so remember, we wanted to go from this form, ax squared plus bx plus c, to that form there, which looks different, right? There are all kind of different letters, right? H and k. And what we're saying is that we have a formula for h, and we have a formula for k. and we find those values, we find those items by plugging in the same values of A, B, and C from the original expression, simplifying and solving. And afterwards, all we have to do is just follow the format of A of the completed square and plug in the new values here. Yes? Okay.
So wait.
Right. 3 over 4 is H. H is B over 2A. Right? And we use the values up here of A, B, and C. Alright. Yeah?
I really don't understand.
Don't understand what specifically?
You want to say the whole thing?
You can say that if you want.
I just want to.
No, that, if that's what you don't understand, I don't understand. Right? What we're doing is we're going from this format here to this format here. Right? Now, the original format is ax squared plus bx plus c. And this is the completed square format. To go from here to here, we of course have to find h and k.
Why is it?
Well, that's the instruction.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because we don't have h and k here that are readily visible. So what we have to do therefore is find h and k.
Just like I'm moving to the question.
Well, I have more to show, but okay, you can go ahead. Right? So we have a formula for h and a formula for k. And all you have to do is plug the values of a, b, and c inside of those formulae.
So how you get the formula for the formula for the
Right, that's a whole process. Right? I don't mind showing it, but I think today we're just trying to be a bit efficient. Right? So, I mean, I would love to show it. Actually, I have a whole... Yeah, I have a mini-series planned for some YouTube videos. Hopefully it'll come up by about late June, early July on computing the square. I know it will help all, but really and truly for tomorrow, you always have to know how to do this the short way.
So look, could we have a video on that?
Probably, you can check it out, yeah. Right, okay. So, does anybody else have any other questions on how we get from here to here? Alright, cool. Now, this completed square form is useful because it helps us, it provides us with visuals on certain aspects of that particular function and helps us to answer some very easy questions. Alright, now, every quadratic conforms to either one of two particular shapes. It'll either be a minimum curve or maximum curve. Alright, so they can ask you for the minimum or maximum value of the function. And to find that, right, so for example, you guys who have the question paper, it says using your answer from B above or otherwise calculate the minimum value. So one thing they want is the minimum value, sorry, that's not an E, minimum value of 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. The minimum value of a quadratic function is simply given by the value of k, which in this case is what? Minus 1/8. The next thing they ask for is the value of x for which the minimum occurs. Alright? The value of x for which the minimum occurs.
We see the R from 3x to 1 to minus 1.
Sure. Alright, I should have shown that here instead. Yeah, sorry, that probably was causing some confusion. My apologies. Right, now the value of x for which the minimum occurs, that is minus h. We have h here as minus 3/4, so minus h would be minus 3/4, which will give us what? Positive 3/4. Yeah. Right, so check it. In order to get k here, right, we have to eliminate everything else attached to it. And to do that, the only way to do that is to turn the inside of this bracket to 0. To turn the inside of that bracket to 0, you have to make this item equal to 0. And to make it equal to 0, x is minus h. Right? So the value of x, which gives the minimum or maximum value if it's a maximum curve, is simply minus h. Alright. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to practice completing the square and identifying the maximum or minimum value. Alright? Well, if it's max, it'll be the same h, right? No, I didn't. No, we're not sketching yet. I have sketching for later. What I was saying is that you have two forms of the quadratic, two ways it could look when you graph it. You either have a minimum curve or you have a maximum curve. So what they could ask for is either the minimum or maximum value of the function. Right? So I'm just trying to give some context here.
Wait, so when you say it's negative h, right?
Yep.
That could be for both minimum and maximum. It's negative.
It doesn't matter if it's min or max. The value that gives min or max is always minus h. That's correct. Alright. Okay, so the first question I want you guys to try is at the bottom of the page, which is Jan 07. Alright.
So minimum max is still always going to be k.
The min or max value is always k. That's correct. Doesn't matter if it's min or max. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, friend.
Anybody else want to print out?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. You can raise your hands up at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, cool. Thank you. Alright, so the Jan 07 is on the board for those on the live, if anybody wants to try it. Alright. Okay, copy it down. I'll put back up the working for the previous example. Yeah. For Jan 07, all I want you to do is to complete the square and identify the max value, sorry, the minimum value and the value of x that gives. So basically what you're doing for 2007 is what I just did for 2009. You're completing the square and you're finding the minimum value of the function and the value of x for which it occurs.
That's not part of the question,
No.
where it's good.
Correct. What I'm going to do is, as I go through the example, you're going to use 2007 to practice. I'm sure. You want to do one? You want to do one? You guys want the one each?
Yeah.
This is Jan 07.
Yeah, one at the bottom of the page. Alright, so all they're doing is exactly as in the example, they complete the square, express it in that form, and then you are stating the max value, sorry, max or min value, or the min value, and the value of x for which are minimum value of 2. What did you say before?
He told me that I was going to fail all my subjects.
Oh, so why would she make that up then? Bree sent us here. Alright, cool. Thank you, Brian. Kaylan said Bree sent us here, so I said that. I don't know who us is, but yeah. So we're doing the 07 question again. Yeah. You're going to do this question, right? And then 07 again. So A, B, and C. Yeah. How they have less people watching? I don't know. Probably I just going too boring. What was that? Yeah, the minimum value and the value of x for which f of x is a minimum. Alright, so E for which item? Yeah. When you say work, what do you mean? Not yet, no.
I'm trying to make this another mark.
Right, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Alright, so if we have so if f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 4x minus 5, right? So a is equal to 2, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to minus 5. Alright, so we want this to convert into x plus h squared plus k. Alright, now notice any question, they use b and c inside of the completed square form. That was a chain of people who didn't know what they were doing. Alright? So, yeah. Not always, no. Right, if you look at the thing, the last time I came was Jan 2017, so it didn't come in 2018 at all. Right, so b over 2a, so b, right, so b was 4, right, 2 multiplied by a, which is 2, so what we end up with? 4 over 4, and 4 over 4 is 1. Right, k now. We have 4 by a by c minus b squared all over 4a. So that's 4 by 2 by minus 5 minus b squared all over. Yeah, b over 2a, positive b. 4 by 2 is 8. 8 by minus 5 is 40. Yep. 4 squared is 16. 4 by 2 is 8. So what we're going to end up with is minus 56 over 8, which actually gives us minus 7. So now what happens is, we could say therefore the initial quadratic 2x squared plus 4x minus 5 is equal to, right, so remember the form we're trying to go to, a multiplied by the square of x plus h plus k. A is 2, x plus h is 1, right, plus 1 all squared plus k, and k is minus 7. Right, so this, oh, okay, careful with that. Correct, yes. Alright, so the minimum value of f of x, which is just k, in this case, is equal to minus 7. And the x value that gives the min value of f of x is minus h, which in this case is minus 1. Alright, so by the way, this would therefore be the coordinates of the minimum point, which should be minus 1, minus 7, which is minus hk. Right, so you should jot this down too.
Okay, so the 2x plus 5 minus 5 equals to that would be the equation of 3 answers to number 3.
No, we're not doing that yet. Right, so what I was saying is, I would do the example, and then after that, you will just do what I do to this question. But by the end of it, we would have worked through everything they could possibly ask you for with this topic. And then after that, we'll take it and apply it to the other questions. Okay, cool.
How you like look?
No, that's been banned for decades.
Wait, it's like HK.
Yeah, negative h by k.
To get disqualified for it.
I don't know about disqualified, but yeah.
You make around like scratches and things. Is it like, do they take off marks and things? Like if it's relevant?
I think there's an overall mark representation, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Because I messed up on one of my appropriations. I didn't know
Yeah.
the relevance.
Well, it done gone already. Don't worry about it. I can tell you. Was you so worried about it now? It had absolutely nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, like after, like, people like, oh, I got this answer. Like, I didn't get that. Okay.
I mean, all you can do going forward is, of course, have a strategy for dealing with errors. Because I've been telling you all for the longest while, you cannot write in pencil on the exam. And all this time, you're writing in pencil and erasing. And you go in the exam and you cannot do that.
But you can't do it.
Write in pencil in the exam.
I did. And I erased it.
Wow.
You had time to burn.
Yeah.
Well,
I
good.
have a lot of writing.
That's alright. If it's 6 people, I'm glad to help 6 people. There's no scene.
6 people, right?
Yeah, that's alright. I have how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 all day here. So I good.
And I had 6 on the.
Yeah. Well, they can't say it was false advertising. I tell them how I was doing. Computer in the square. Yeah. I know, right? Alright, guys. Anybody have any questions with that particular item, Jan 07? Right, like I said, I'm going to be doing piece by piece with the example, and then when I do that, you're going to do the answer for this piece as we go along. So by the end of it, you will know how to do the whole question. So no matter what they ask you, you will know how to do it. Alright, okay, so let's go back to Mayo 9. Alright, so to Mayo 9, we completed the square. Alright, we also set the minimum value. Oh, right, and the minimum point here, same thing, occurs at minus 8k. Hold on, what? Am I 100%? No, that's why. That's why I give in trouble to write. Right, at minus hk, which in this case was, I guess I do have to zoom out because that's what I started with. Crap. Alright, minus h is 3/4 and k is 1/8. Alright. What do you 7?
Yeah, just box of
This is 100. Okay, cool. I'm glad only one page is messed up. Alright. Okay. You got it? Alright, cool. Alright, I'm going back to the 09 to show you how to sketch a curve. Right? So, they could ask you to complete the square to state the minimum or maximum value of the curve, the corresponding x value. They could ask you for the coordinates of that minimum or maximum point. They can ask you to sketch the curve and to give the equation of the axis of symmetry. Alright, there are 1 or 2 other things, but we'll go through them as we go through the questions. Alright, so what we're going to talk about now is how to sketch a curve. So let's see if I do zoom back into 100%. How much do I lose? Yeah, I lose quite a bit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
But you can like
Let's zoom out.
reduce the size of your page.
Yeah, I could. Okay. So let's talk about curve sketching.
So you need graph paper for this?
Nope. Curve sketching does not require graph paper. If you had to plot the curve, then you would need graph paper. So
They will
curve,
give that to you.
yeah, in the exam booklet they will have grids. Right. So let's take a look at curve sketching. So, like I said, there are 2 basic forms of a quadratic curve. The first form is a minimum curve, and the second form is a maximum curve.
Okay.
All right. So we have y.
What's the x side and raise towards 3? What side is that, right? No, it depends on how many.
No, that has nothing to do with max or min.
Oh.
Max or min has to do, a maximum curve has a maximum point. right? Doesn't matter if it's to the left, to the right. It matters that it looks like a bell. It's called a bell-shaped curve. This one has a minimum point, right? So when you're sketching a curve, the first thing you have to know is it max or is it min? That's the first question we have to answer. Is the curve a maximum curve or is it a minimum curve? Sorry? Well, they'll ask you to sketch the curve. So the first thing you have to know is how does it look, right? There are two ways a quadratic curve could look. It's either going to be a maximum curve or it's going to be a minimum curve, right? So first thing to be able to assess is that. How do we tell that? All we have to do is look at the equation given to us of the curve. If A is positive, greater than 0, it means we have a minimum curve. If A is negative, which means it's less than 0, we have a maximum curve. Right? We have a maximum curve. So that's the first thing. So all you need to be able to do is tell whether the coefficient of the x squared term is positive or negative. If it's positive, greater than 0, that means it's a minimum. If it's negative, less than 0, that means it's a maximum curve. Alright? Are you gone? Alright, cool.
Tomorrow.
No problems.
So the same time tomorrow, right?
4 to 6, half 6 to half 8, yeah. Right. The next thing we have to know is the location of this max or minimum point. The location of the max or minimum point will be given by the coordinates. And we just found out how to find the coordinates of the max or minimum point. The coordinates of the max or minimum point are simply minus h and k. What's the formula for h again? H is equal to b over 2a, and k is equal to, very good, 4ac minus b squared all over 4a.
Later, everybody.
Alright, later. Antonio. Tomorrow.
It's English here.
So we'll come to that next time, right?
No.
Alright, so hold on. So we have max or minimum point. That's the red X on either diagram, right? Minimum point there, maximum point there. Now, there's no specific order in which you have to find out these things. Usually this is just the order in which I go. The next thing we have to find out. Now there are certain points, very important points here. I'm going to identify them, right? So that's the green there. Yeah. So the green points represent where the curve cuts the which axis? Which axis is that?
X.
Correct. So those are called the roots of the equation. Right? They are also sometimes known as the x-intercepts. Yeah. You cannot work with any of your own paper in the exam. So everything you need will be provided for you in terms of your writing paper. Alright? I don't know. It says 1. But it have people chatting, so clearly it can't be 1. Otherwise, it have ghosts. Anyhow, now how do we find the roots of the equation? You have 3 ways. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's like basically you're solving the quadratic as it is equal to 0. So you can solve via factorization. Now I have a little beef with these two here, right? So you can complete the square, and the third one is the quadratic formula. Now, like I probably would have mentioned to you guys here, these two are just different parts of the same process. They are not different in terms of okay, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Yeah, completing the square is way longer than the formula, but completing the square gives you the quadratic formula. So to me, if I told you, okay, there's a 10 to solve for this thing, you can either take a 10-step process or a 2-step process. Which one sounds better? The 2-step process. That's what the quadratic formula is. It is simply the last quote-unquote 2 steps in completing the square and solving. It is not different from completing the part of the process. All right.
Last time we actually asked you to use the quadratic formula to solve something, or they don't.
They can, and we have questions in this exercise that ask us to do that, right?
Oh, when they actually sit down, you could do this study along the way. But
They don't specify how to do it. All they say is express the quadratic in that form. And I know some teachers have told you all not to do it with the formulas for h and k because you wouldn't get any marks. That's absolute rubbish. Okay. So to solve ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Alright. If what, sorry? If I have a degree in math? No, my degree is in management studies with a minor in finance.
Whoa.
Was that? Yeah, yes, I did. I thought about it, but it's time that is very precious. That could be spent doing other things. All right, anyhow. What's that?
yeah.
Well, if you go full time, a degree down here is 3 years. If you do it online, it might take 5. Or 7, according to how much time you could do with how many courses you could do. Right, the last piece on the graph is important for your sketch. I'm going to highlight in blue. Yeah. Right? So look at that. Look at the diagram and tell me, what am I highlighting there?
The
X into Y.
Where is the curve? What is the curve cut? What line is the curve cut? The y in the y-axis. So that blue point is the y-intercept. And that is actually next to being able to tell if the curve is max or min. That's the easiest thing you could find. Yeah, 1 second. 0, C. All you have to do to find where the y-intercept is look at the equation ax squared plus bx plus c and pull that. Alright? Yeah, what you wanted to see, John?
just remark the points.
Okay, cool.
So to find the y-intercept, just
All you have to do is extract the value of from the quadratic expression itself, or the equation itself. Yeah, no problem. Alright, cool. Before I do, what I want to do is I want to do an example. So when I print it, you'll have you'll have all this breakdown plus an actual example from which to follow. Alright? I'm talking about accounts, so that's okay. Small thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this entire process using the example from 2009. Right, now we already have the square completed, so I'm just going to write it over. Right? Okay, so for 09, right, so same 09, this is the function f of x. Like I have some kind of shivering disease. Like a colon right there. I don't understand. Right. So you have 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. Right, so the first thing we had to answer was, is it a max or a min? How do we tell that again? If the coefficient here is positive or negative. What is it? What is the value there?
Positive.
It's positive, so what is it?
Minimum.
It's a minimum curve. Very good. Now, remember this was equal to 2 into x minus 3/4 all squared minus, I think it was 1/8.
Yeah.
Let me just double check that. Yeah. Okay. So the minimum point, right? The next thing we have to find out were the coordinates of that minimum point. What are the coordinates of that minimum point? Minus h and k. This is h, this is k. Live stream offline. Oops, what's going on there, boy? Sorry, 1 second. No, looking like it's on. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, it's on.
It on?
Yeah.
Okay, mine's saying off. I don't know. Anybody left could hear me? The man, father, part of council. Alright, cool. Right, so sorry. So the minimum, the coordinates of the minimum point is so minus h. If h is minus 3/4, minus h is positive 3/4. And k is simply minus 1/8. Alright. Now, I said the third thing to find would be the roots. Right? But we could actually come back to that. Let's just find the y-intercept first. Like I said, that is actually way easier to find than finding the roots. The y-intercept is simply given as 0, c. Right? And remember what c is, right? This is a, this is b, this is c. Right? So that's just equal to 0, 1. Alright, so look at that. We already have 3 out of the 4 things we have to know. The last thing we have to know is the roots. And to find the roots, we could factorize or use the formula. What you guys want to do? Formula? Alright, let's revise the formula. The quadratic formula is x equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, so minus b. That was minus 3. Plus or minus the square root of b squared. That's minus 3 squared. Minus 4 by a, which is 2, by 1, which is c. All over 2 by a is 2. Right. So minus 3 is what? Positive 3, right?
Yeah.
Plus or minus. What's minus 3 squared?
9.
That's 9. Minus 4 by 2 is?
8.
And 8 by 1 is? 8. So we have 9 minus 8. And 2 by 2 is what?
4.
Aha! What's 9 minus 8?
1.
So we have 3 plus or minus the square root of 1 all over 4. What's the square root of 1?
1.
So we have 3 plus or minus 1 all over 4. So we'll take the positive root. 3 plus 1 is what?
4.
And 4 over 4 is 1. 3 minus 1 is? And 2 over 4 is? A half. So your roots will simply be, what was it? It was 1. So 1, 0, and a half and 0.
Wait.
Nah, something wrong.
Chris,
Uh-huh.
if you have, wait, why?
No, that's fine. Uh-huh.
Isn't 1, 0 if you had 0, 1 before?
No, this is the y-intercept.
Oh, okay.
This is the x-intercept. On the x-intercept, the y-coordinate is 0 because the x-intercept passes through 0 on the y-axis. So no matter how far left or how far right you go on the x-axis, the y-coordinate is always going to be 0.
Okay, that's not correct.
No, sorry, I made a mistake.
Oh.
Yeah, I looked at the minimum point and thought that I had to be in a different position.
Could you teach me what was it, how you do the minimum point? Like,
Right, all you have to do is look at the coefficient of the x squared term. If it's positive, it's minimum. Negative, maximum. Right? The video drop out, boy. Is it? See if you see it now. I don't see it on mine. I know what the story is. The chat was still active though.
Yes, yes, like.
Seen it? Okay, cool. Well, I don't know. Maybe my internet gave me a drop out for me. Alright. Okay, so what do we do with all of this stuff? Just give me one second. Let me see how it's split up on 2 pages. I'm hoping it's just 2 pages, right? Okay. Okay, yeah, I have enough room. Okay, right. So check it. This is what we have to do with all of this information here. We have to put it together to be able to draw a curve. Now, first of all, we know what type of curve is it? Max or min? It's min. So is it going to look like this or like that? Left or right? It's going to be on your left. All right, cool. The minimum value occurs at 3/4 on the x and minus 1/8 on the y. So if we think about the axes, right? 3/4 on the x, will it be on the left side or the right side? The right side, because it's a positive x value, not so? So it's going to be on this side. Minus 1/8, is it going to be on the top or below? Correct. Right, so it's going to be below here, right? So we know that it's going to be, well, we could just estimate it as being right there. Now, we know it also cuts the the x-axis at, let's say, 1 and 1/2, right? So isn't 3/4 exactly halfway between a half and 1?
Yes, yes.
All right, cool. So let's put it there, right? So you have your half here and you have your 1 here.
This is why I put underneath the x-axis.
Aha, good question. Because the y coordinate is negative, and negative y values go below the x-axis.
No, but now 3/4.
Right, but the 3/4 is on the axis here. If it was a negative x, it would go on this side here. The positive x.
So I thought where you draw the kind of.
This,
I thought that was where the point was.
yeah, that is where it's going.
But that's underneath the x-axis.
Right, but under the x-axis is negative y's. On this side is positive x's. So the x value on that side is positive.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere under here you want. Once it's on the right hand side of the y-axis, it's a positive x value. All right. Now, we also know it's cutting the y-axis where? At 0, 1, right? So that's somewhere here. No, sorry. Isn't it a positive y value? So that's somewhere here. So the curve could look kind of like that. There. Right, so once again, that's how it's going to look if you draw the points first. So what I suggest you do is you do a rough sketch somewhere. You get an idea about how it looks, and then you draw your axes and put your curve, and you put the points in after. Right? So you do your little, like I said, your rough sketch. You do your rough sketch first, and once you know where it's going to go and how it's going to look, then you sketch it after. You do your proper sketch. Right? You draw your...
Where do your roots come in?
Your roots are where the curve cuts the x-axis. So you will see your roots here and here. Right? You will see your y-intercept here on the axis. And of course your minimum point is here.
And the minimum point that the coordinate 3, 4, 1.
Correct. That's the minimum point there. This is the y-intercept. And these are the x-intercept. Alright, so you're connected with it now?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Yeah.
I heard you say where it's coming from.
That's the hope. That's why I said it so many times, so it's sticking in your brain. Alright, cool. So now that we have an idea about how this curve is going to look, right? Now when you draw your axes, you don't have to draw like a perfect T. If we know it's not, we don't really need negative aspects of these axes, you don't need to draw too much along on that side. So we know the curve is going to look something like that. That looks a little better, right?
Yeah.
Right, so now you put in your points after. Remember, a sketch doesn't have a scale, eh? If you had to plot it on a graph page, then yes, you would need a scale. Alright, so you have 1 on the x. This is a half here. This is 1 here. This is the value of 3/4. And this is the value of -1
I
here.
asked you to just sketch it. You just sketch it like on a blank sheet, not on like an actual graph.
Correct. Yeah, they'll give you like a blank space on which to sketch it. Right? A sketch should not be done on graph paper.
You have to write the points in.
That's what I just did. Right? I know they're kind of small, so sorry about that. Let me see if I can make them a little bigger. Alright, so this point here would be a half. That's 1. And yeah, this is your 3/4 point here. And right, the last thing, right, is the axis of symmetry. Anybody remember what symmetry is?
Because I find
Correct, it's like a kind of halfway point.
yeah.
I'm sure I cracked this joke on it already, but of course a couple of years ago I asked, anybody know what symmetry is? And I said, that's what is very dead people. They don't know, not that kind of symmetry, that's symmetry. Alright? And next time they say, well, why, you all know why they build the cemetery, or where's the best place to build a cemetery? In the dead center of town.
And for like, really?
Yes, really.
Bro, what?
You know why this building walls of cemetery so high? People just dying to get in. You know why cemetery is so noisy at night? Only coughing.
I was like, you okay? Like, why are you coming in with an enjoy?
Oh,
Sarai, hey, Sarai, what's going on? You know, Sarai have fans, yes, boy.
Oh, gorgeous.
Right, so like I was saying, axis of symmetry. Alright, okay, we'll give Brianna a minute or two because this is important. Anybody in life catch them jokes, boy? Or nobody in life?
Sarai, you got the joke?
Let me see. Live chat. I'm tapping this thing. What is going on? Yeah, I had 2 viewers, me and Sarai. Ah, look.
Uncle, why are you talking about you?
Because clearly I move and boring on it. I don't know. Or I just not doing something they want.
Wait, what you want to Sarai?
No, this chat is now catching up.
But that time we didn't even do POA today.
Step on that.
You see these comments?
Yeah.
Alright. Chill.
Keep it
I
up,
love
Chrissy.
the way
Alright,
they
thanks.
Chill.
Message you like
That's latency.
Charge.
Who's that?
Latency. The same fellow who say headline going back.
The magic charges already different. Hello. Are you free? English tomorrow. Next week, right? No, sorry.
Yeah, that's my partner from Tunisia. Yeah. Alright, okay.
Yeah, English tomorrow. Can you listen to studying now?
Yeah, I know. Alright.
Somebody telling me like boys.
I think headline one yesterday.
That wasn't yesterday, that was
My father is not the
they're just talking rubbish, don't worry about that. Don't take them one side.
I'm coming to see you.
They're like little sisters, isn't
You're not pencil. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it in red. Alright, Brian. Alright, cool. So like I said, the axis of symmetry is the line that cuts this curve exactly into two symmetrical halves. Right? Now it's gonna have new? Yeah. Alright. I'll print out the page and you can relax. And you can catch up on the live when you go home or whatever, right? Right, so the axis of symmetry is the vertical line that cuts the curve exactly in half, and it has to pass through the maximum or minimum point. The equation of said line is x equal to minus h. Right? Sorry. X equal to minus h. So in this case, that's equal to 3/4. And we know that because it's passing through 3/4 on the x-axis. Alright, cool. Alright guys, so I've given you a lot to chew on there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna print out this for everybody. Does anybody not want a copy? Not one. 2. Alright. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So alright, so 11 copies. Alright, cool. Well, I had to worry about nobody in life because nobody on life. Pressing it down. So if anybody rewatching this here. I don't know. I guess you'll find out.
Wait, so how do you share it? Like, do you share that you're going for live?
Yeah. What happened was I posted up on IG earlier around 2 o'clock. 2:30 that 2 sessions. First one was we were supposed to have done this earlier, but what we did took the whole time, so you could actually go up and check that. Just on the last half hour, it's just dead air. So just one linear and one non-linear, so not basic simultaneous equations. It looked like hold on.
This one, right?
Yeah, that. Right. This is the order in which we did them.
So it's these I'm solving all these. I don't solve them all. Put them in
Correct.
on the one from square head. I spent the day.
So I'll either print it out for you or you can check it on the live, right? Oh no, it's not sticking, guys. It's not sticking. We on a pause for a minute just for me to print out some notes. Alright, so this is the working we did.
So we fought, man.
Again.
Yes, sir. She's over there, sir.
Gio, you got that? Gio, what is the eating freak? Okay.
You really need to buy one.
Zoe, you want to laugh.
Do it.
It's okay. Tell him. It's a new food. Oh god.
Okay, they've been in the corner crying. Quiet, hold. She's like, hope nobody fought again.
Yeah, that's not the deal, sir.
Don't worry, you like that.
See how it was.
I see the abuse, don't worry about it.
I see how I do it. I didn't know nothing.
When he's fancy, he was like this.
I guess it's right on the coffee shit, I suppose. I don't know. Coffee, I would not put up. Yeah. You change your mind about what?
I wanted one.
I did put on one.
Oh, but I didn't get one.
I have two more. Did anybody not get one? What is that?
That's the one from before.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good.
Alright, cool. Well, I think I gave to somebody who didn't want one. So if anybody got one, alright, well, yeah, so,
I got it. Oh,
yeah.
can I call her something else?
Beads, I don't know.
LB.
What was the whole thing?
Kiss.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, no, she off now. I'm tired.
What is it?
She's trying to sleep. Maybe they said knock her out, I don't know.
No, I'm trying to sleep. You're crying.
Everybody
We're
else.
trying to have class. Exactly.
Fresh any dance.
Everybody here wants it out. Why not?
Alright, guys. Okay, so I've given you quite a bit to bite off and chew. Right? So what we're gonna do, where'd my plan go? Oh, can I borrow back my plan for a second? Okay, so you guys are working the 07, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what I want you guys to do for the 07 is to sketch the curve. Alright, so you're following the same process for the 09. Alright, so what I'm going to do is kind of walk you guys through it first, right? So the first thing is, for the 07, let's ask the questions, right? Yeah. Alright, so for the 07, let me just, oops, it's still in red. Let me just change back to black. Back in black. 2x squared plus 4x minus 5. Right, so we have 2x squared plus 4x minus 5. Right, so first question. Is it max or min? How do we know that?
X is positive.
The coefficient of x is positive, very good. So because A, the coefficient of x, the number in front of the x squared. Right, so A is positive. Why is my, looking like a 3-year-old practicing penmanship? like my girlfriend sounds right better than me right now, I don't understand. So A is greater than 0, which means it is a minimum curve. Alright, that's A, that's B, that's C. What's the next thing? We have to find the coordinates. What are the coordinates of the minimum point? Minus, H, and K. Alright, now you guys would have this part of the question completed already, right? Because I kind of jotted it down for you a little earlier. So that's what? Minus 1, minus 7. Alright? We can come back to the roots. The easiest piece to find after that thing is to find the y-intercept. Y-intercept. And to find the y-intercept, that's simply going to be 0c, where c is the constant term in the quadratic equation, which would simply be what? Minus 5. So the coordinates of the y-intercept are 0, minus 5. And to find the roots, you all said you want to practice using the quadratic formula, right? Because that might be what you have to use here, because 2 by 5 is 10. But correct, so it's negative 10, right? But are there any factors, any pairs of factors of 10 that would give us back positive 4? No. So therefore we have to use the quadratic formula in this case. So that's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 by a by c all over 2a. Alright, so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to work that out, and I'll work it out myself. And then you all are going to try sketching this curve. Yeah. Yes, Stefan, sorry about it sticking. I know, but it really looking like it's stuck, because I'm still seeing where I have max and minimum curves.
Sir, I said how it was sticking, so she left.
Who's
I
that?
don't know, sir, I don't know if it was her wife, I would just know.
She said it's sticking?
Yeah.
I just seen hello from her.
I don't know, I just messaged me.
Restarting it? Yeah, that would be a good idea. Because if it's taking it to make any kind of sense recording it, that's just a waste of time.
And if it takes too long, you just stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go live on the ground.
Live on the ground, well, I can't go live on the ground from here.
Hey, you know that thing you have propped up and change it?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yes, you want to study the information about.
But the audio not sticking though. Good. That's why I reach one. Wow. Okay, fast forward now. That's when Antonio was leaving.
In this case, that's equal to 3/4. And we know that because it's passing through 3/4.
Yeah, but the
A lot.
video stuck though, that sucks.
Does anybody not want to? 10. 10. Well, I had it when it was going to live because nobody was touched. Anybody? I don't know. I guess you'll find out.
Anybody still there and seen anything on your live that it's stuck? Y'all could comment. You could let me know what's going on. Because my
We got it now.
yeah.
Be live.
Let me close off YouTube on my phone and reopen it.
I wasn't even laughing when this is where you farted. This is where you farted. That's so funny.
No, it's still stuck. No, I know why they're gone, because Kerwin doing the 2019 Jan multiple choice live. And that was what I was going to. Anyhow, I do that tomorrow.
This is working from today.
Oh, so it's still there, boy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just screen record it from there, just post it as a video.
Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright. Alright, you know what? Let me just do the work.
So,
Yeah.
when you get the how do you do this on maximum?
Right. The coefficient of the x squared 2. If it's positive, it's a minimum curve. If it's negative, it's a maximum curve.
So, the A was -4. So, it would be
This
yeah, minus B.
A is the coefficient of the x squared 2.
Wait, so, I mean, the B, not the B figure, so
What about the b?
was 4, right? So,
B was 4, right?
so if it was positive 4, then it would be
Hold on. To find the maximum min is minus h and k.
right.
To find h is b over 2a. So it's not just b, it's b over 2a.
So what I had here was kind of like not.
Oh, this seems fine. I just have to. I'm gonna work out the thing, but 16 minus 4 to be 56,
69,
and the square root of 56 is not 44. So yeah, it's the last two lines here. All right, guys, let me sort out the what do you call it? the quadratic here. So we have, what's that? Yeah, we get decimal. Alright, so minus b. So that's, sorry, b squared, sorry. So that's 4 squared minus 4 by a by c. All over 2 by a. So that's 2 by 2. Alright, so that's minus 4. Like that, that's fine.
So, and then you, so my phone is good, so.
Let's start back, we back up and running.
You, ma.
Let me see. Are we back up? Is this still stuck? No? We're back up? Alright, cool. Hey guys, sorry, I was stuck. I didn't realize I was stuck for a little while. So I did a restart because we're just going to round off here with some questions in the last half an hour. Jan 2014, Jan 2015, Jan 2017. Alright. So for those who are at home, if you guys want to take a little sketch of this curve and try the questions, right, and giving them in class a little time to try it as well. Right? If you have any questions you can ask, we're not under exam conditions. Please feel free to ask questions, it's not a problem. Alright, sorry, but most of the view of me is just the edge of my forehead and the roof. I'm real sorry about that. Gee, what are you doing? That's not what I call a choker chain, that's not what it's for, but anyhow, alright, yeah guys, so we tried it Jan 2014. You trying it, Jan 2014?
Yeah, I didn't.
Not necessarily. This question was a bit different. If you notice, they gave you the sketch. So basically, you have to work backwards to find what they're asking you for. What's the first thing they ask you for?
They asked us for
The roots. What are the roots? What on the graph?
1 and 5.
Right. The roots are where? Hold on, let me get a little higher to go, right? The roots are where the curve cuts the x-axis. Right? So you state the roots, right? That would be
Minus 1, 0.
minus 1, 0,
Minus 1, 0.
and
0, 5.
and 5, 0. Remember, if it's on the x-axis, the y-coordinate is 0. The x-coordinate would be where it's cutting. Right? So minus 1, 0 and 5, 0. Those are the two roots. Language does sound nice. Pizza Pit, I don't know what time they close. Alright, the next one they ask for the function y equal to x squared plus bx plus c, a, determine the value of c. What is c, generally speaking?
C, let me see, please.
Alright, go ahead.
C is 6.
C is 6, so we get 6. Well, on the graph, there's an item on the graph. Yeah.
5.
This piece here, minus 5. C is the y-intercept, right? This is the y-axis. The y-intercept is where the curve cuts the y-axis, right? Which is this point here. Agreed?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the value of c, it's a very poor arrow, will simply be minus 5. So far, sorry?
How?
Right. So once again, what c is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the curve cuts the y-axis.
C equals y-intercept.
Correct. C is the y-intercept. Yes? Alright, cool. Now the last part, show that b is equal to minus 4. Anybody have any ideas as to how to do that? b over 2a. Well, that will give us the...
Well, no, sorry.
Should have b equals minus 4.
Yeah, so where should that b is equal to... Okay, now we have different ways we could work this, eh? Because in math, usually there are multiple ways to work something. And, okay, so the easiest thing we could do is actually use that value in the equation and see if it gives us back one of the y values, right? Now, we have a few y values from the curve so far. What y values we have that we can read off from the curve on this graph? Negative 5 is a y value, right?
And-
So essentially, let's hold on. So for now, we know we have x squared plus bx minus 5 because we've ascertained from the graph that c is minus 5. Yes? All right. Now it says equal to 0, and it's equal to 0 at these 2 points here, not so? So if we were to plug this value of x or this value of x inside of here, the output value of y should be 0. So what we could do is that, right? We could plug any value of x equal to minus 1 and solve. So if x equal to minus 1, so if x equal to minus 1, we would have minus 1 squared plus b by minus 1 minus 5 equal to 0. Well, you can't put it like that. I just prefer to put in brackets.
Okay.
So minus 1 squared is what? What's minus 1 by itself?
Minus 1 squared. I mean.
Right, minus 1 by minus 1 is
1.
1. What's b by minus 1? That's minus b, right? Minus 5 equal to 0. Now here we have one equation. How many unknowns do we have in that equation? 1. So we could solve for it because the basic rule with algebra is to solve for unknowns. We have to have at least what? As many equations as there are unknowns. If there were 2 unknowns, we need 2 equations. But since we have 1 unknown, we need 1 equation, right? So here we could simplify. We can say, okay, look, what's 1 minus 5? Let's simplify. What's 1 minus 5? That's minus 4. So we have minus b minus 4 is equal to 0. And if we carry b across, what will we get? Minus b. Sorry, positive b. So look at that. We just showed that b is equal to minus 4. Let's try it again. Was there another value that we could use? What was the other value of x that gave us y as 0? 5. So we could say, all right, let's test it again. So if x is equal to 5, so if x is equal to 5, we have x squared plus b by x minus 5 equal to 0. What's 5 squared? 25, very good. 5 by b would simply be 5b, and then we have minus 5 here, right? What's 25 minus 5? 20. So we have 20 is equal to 5b. Sorry, 20 plus 5b equal to 0. My apologies. So now, to solve for b, we have to detach everything currently attached to b. What's attached to b?
5.
A 5 and a 20. Which one is the furthest one from b?
20.
So we move that one first. How is it attached? What sign is it? Positive or negative?
Positive.
So to remove something attached, we'd have to subtract it on both sides of the equation, right? Next thing, how is the 5 attached? What operation is understood between the 5 and the b? So to move something attached via multiplication, very good. So we divide by 5 on both sides. And if minus 20 divided by 5 is? What's 20 divided by 5? And a minus divided by a positive is a minus. So we've taken both of them and shown that b is equal to minus 4. Alright? And we got that because those were the roots of the equation. The roots of the equation are the values of x where the curve cuts the x-axis. And on the x-axis, what's the value of y? 0. So we use those values that we read off of the graph in conjunction with the minus 5, which we also read off the graph, and we were able to find the value, or to show that the value of b was minus 4.
First, can you do that one?
The first one? As in this piece down here?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So if we found the value of c,
Right.
interjection in the formula,
Right.
in the question answer,
Right.
and then
We
go from there also.
Right, so using the value of c that we read off of the graph, right? We're able to replace this c with the actual number of minus 5. Yes? Alright. Now, they want us to show that b is minus 4. The only other information we have are the two values of x where the curve y is equal to 0. So what we could do is we could substitute this value of x, which is minus 1, inside of here. Right? Let's do that. So if x equal to minus 1, so we have minus 1 squared plus b multiplied by minus 1. Sorry, I missed. Shift that across. Minus 5 equal to 0. You with me there?
Yeah.
Alright. What's minus 1 squared? Minus 1 by minus 1 is positive 1. b by minus 1 is minus b. So 1 minus b minus 5 is 0. Right? So here we could just simply shift around some stuff. So 1 minus 5 minus b is 0. What's 1 minus 5? Minus 4. And if minus 4 minus b is 0, if you carry across the minus b, it becomes positive, right? So b is equal to 4. And that's what we got regardless of if we use... Yeah, on the other side, I use the other root, the other x value. Right? And I sub that x value inside the same equation here. Right? Right? So remember the equation was the same, x squared plus bx minus 5 equal to 0. And I simply substituted the value of x equal to 5 inside of here. Right? 5 squared give me 25. 5 by b would just give me 5b. And minus 5 was along for the right. That was the constant. And then 25 minus 5 gave me 20. So I was left with 20 plus 5b is equal to 0. I carried across 20, which gave me 5b equal to minus 20. And if 5b equal to minus 20, I simply have to divide by 5 on both sides of the equation to solve for b as minus 4. Yes? Alright, lovely.
So what marks the question?
Alright.
6, 8.
Well, it says, if you look at the question paper I have there, state the roots, 2 marks. Determine the value of c, 2 marks. Show that b is minus 4, 2 marks. And the last part is state the coordinates at the minimum point. Right, so that piece you all should be able to do, given the fact that we now have that the proper function, what's the whole function now? X squared minus 4x, sorry, minus 5. Right, what are the coordinates in the minimum point? The letters minus h and k. Try any question? Alright. Right, with the next part, the last part, the minimum the points in the coordinates in the minimum point, sorry. Right, and now that we know what the value of b is and the value of c, we could go ahead and solve for that. Alright, so do you remember your formulas for h and k, boy?
Yes, sir. So can I say it?
Tell me, what's the formula for h?
H is E. What?
b
Oh, B?
over.
B over 2A.
Right, very good. What about k? Hold on, let's find the value of h first, right?
Yes, sir.
What? Oh, is you printing? Oh, look. Right, so there's no number in front of here, so what number is understood?
1.
1, very good. So the value of a is 1. What's the value of b? Minus 4. And the value of c is minus 5. So b is what? Minus 4 over 2 by a. What's a? 1. What's 2 by 1? 2. And what's minus 4 divided by 2? Minus 2. Follow me now?
Yes.
Alright.
And the formula for
K. Let me hear you.
C
I'll start you off. Okay, C, yeah.
minus 2B
Well, b squared over
4A.
4a. Very good. Alright, let's use that. What's the value?
Same thing as in 4AC minus.
Yes, that's correct. So what's the value of c there? Minus 5, right? And we got a minus b squared, which is minus 4 squared all over 4a, which is 4 by 1. So that's minus 5 minus, so minus 4 squared is 16 over 4 in this case. 16 over 4 is what? 4, right? And minus 5 minus 4 is minus 9. So the coordinates of the minimum point, once again being minus h and k. Sorry, one second, I just need to erase that. It looks bleh. Right? So the coordinates would be, so if h is minus 2, what's minus minus 2? Positive 2. And k is minus 9. Coordinates of the, yeah. What was up counts? Boy, mixed feelings about accounts. Some people say it was good, but it was hard. Some people didn't like the paper at all. Pressure in the dance. Alright guys, so here we're going to bypass the 2015, we're going to come back to 2015. The 2017 question is one I want to take a look at, because that's the last time they brought computing the square on the math exam, yeah, that one. Alright, so I want you guys to take a little read through first. Alright, so you're looking at the next graph question, which is the last sheet, right? It has the graph on the front, and then they have more questions to the back. Alright, so if anybody on your live is going to scroll across it. Alright, so the diagram below shows the graph of the function f of x is 6x squared minus 6x plus 8 for values of x from 0 to 6. Alright, so what I'll do is let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I'll zoom back in because I don't think I need to. Alright, no problems. Alright, one sec, I gotta put this in my monitor.
Chris, I think my hand's coming at 8:50.
That's fine.
Review stuff.
Yeah, no problem, that's fine. Yeah, this is your exam season, no? I just facilitated.
Okay, and,
But thanks for letting me know.
But I don't think I'll come tomorrow to that, right? But I will get to drop him because my dad's waiting for me.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Alright, yeah, and
We're
y'all.
gonna talk about the POV.
Right, the POB. Oh, right, yeah, right. So that's what I was not going to say. So we had to talk about if we having POB sessions and the econ sessions.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. So what we could do, we'll take a look at the timetable, right? And see who has exams when, because we could either do, we have some options. We could either do 2 single sessions the 2 days before, a double session the day before, or if you all could swing it, 2 double sessions.
2 hours. I have a week off after next
Right.
Tuesday, but the 2 days before I have physics. And
Yeah,
IT.
that's the thing. I know plenty. Yeah, I know one. That's before econ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 days before.
So the econ. Yeah, and I can't promise to cancel my afternoon classes to
Yeah.
facilitate. That's the only thing, right? But I'll see, because if that's after art math too, I might be able to do evening. All right.
Single session.
Yeah, because the double might be hard because I will have form 4s from 4 to 6 on a Tuesday.
Some girl.
Uh-huh.
Even last time.
Send them. I have plenty space in form 4 right now. I have 2 girls.
Okay.
Yeah, so send them.
Class full.
Form 3 I do math. And yeah, I have a lot of people already there, and I have people on a wait list ready to ready to fight to come in.
Form 4 right now.
Yeah. So your brother's going into 3 or going into 4?
Oh.
Going into 4. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, he was here July, August last year. All right.
Yeah, you probably not coming in Form 4.
Yeah. It's him is I think Brianna's a younger sister. Yeah. So her mom already asking. I have somebody. One of my other students who went Holy Name a few years ago. Her younger brother. No, sorry, her cousin. And yeah, the aunt real. Every month she call him Chris. You ready for him? No, no. So yeah. And then our next neighbor from across the road, apparently daughter's in Bishop Centenary and they don't have a math teacher. But she's starting to panic. But she's in Form 3, so we'll have time to try and help her out. So she had to jump the queue. And
So you see that?
I'm seeing many things. I'm hearing many things. And unfortunately smelling many things. Anyhow.
Jesus.
Well, they might think the corn was a type of alcohol, so just let them know what it is, right? Well, okay, so guys, let's take a look at this question. So hopefully you've had some time to pore over it. So the diagram below shows a graph of the function f of x is x squared minus 6x plus 8 for values of x from 0 to 6. So first of all, let's understand what they're saying there. So you all see this curve?
Yeah.
That curve is the function x squared minus 6x plus 8. And they said it goes for values of x from 0 to 6. Yeah?
That's a minimum, right?
Very good. It's a minimum curve. Right. So it goes from x values from 0 to 6. So notice the yellow line on the graph I've put, right? That's the x-axis, and notice the values of x go from what? 0 to 6. And then even if you had a 7 across here, does the curve continue past that? No, it doesn't. Right? So they've given you a very small portion of the curve. Alright? Now, like I said, it's always important to read and understand what you're reading and to make sure you can answer the question, right? Okay. Use the graph to solve the equation x squared minus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. This is the y value. So they're asking, what are they asking here? They're asking for the values of x that give the value of y equal to 0. Where on the graph is y equal to 0? Yeah, let me hear you.
By the x-axis.
On the x-axis. So at every point on the x-axis, y is equal to 0. So are there any points? So they're asking where is the curve equal to 0? So they're basically asking here, where does the curve, so where does the curve f of x, right, cut the x-axis? And there are how many points? I see in one here and one here. So there are 2 points, right? So when they say use the curve, use the graph to solve the equation x squared minus 6x plus it equal to 0. So once this is equal to 0, they're asking where does the function cut the x-axis?
So where right, another answer.
Right, I'll show you. Right, to solve that, it means that x is equal to 2 and x is also equal to 4.
That's all?
Yeah. The other way to have done it would be to factor. If you factorize that, we'll come up with the same solution. X equal to 2 and x equal to 4.
Nice.
Alright, cool.
You like it?
Was that sorry? Laurel and Amy will come in since Form 3, I think. Brianne. Zoe, you here from Form 4, not Form 3.
Yeah, term 1 of Form 4.
The one of Form 4, yeah. Everybody else kind of came after that.
No, you're sick of Is that time?
Alright, part 2. That time of night, yes.
Yeah.
Write down the coordinates of the minimum point. Where's the minimum point on this graph? Here, right? The x coordinate is 3 and the y coordinate is -1. So write down the coordinates. The coordinates here are 3 and -1.
Just so? Second, what do I not think of?
I'm not sure if she's laughing or she's crying because I thought she was in pain, but she's laughing. Cool? Okay. Wow, why is this a 20? And why is this a sun? Alright guys, if you all are okay with that part, finish up the question. Right, do the completed square part and I'll tell you guys how to do the next part after. 1 second. Alright, cool. Support my lower back. Well, having a strong core is important, but try not to lean over unnecessarily. Alright, cool, no problems. Alright, you're working on this part for me here? Alright, organize that part in a couple of minutes because I want to carry out through the last 2 parts there. Alright? Let me just let Brianna out, sorry. Alright, still plugged in to the mic.
good. Master of life. Bye, Bree.
Alright, man. Good luck tomorrow. Look down. You'll give me a hello.
Good looking up too. We'll see you. Yeah.
And yeah, once you're doing, you'll be equal.
My dream house. So you know about cars?
About cars?
Yeah.
Kind of.
You know what Everton is?
Yeah, I work with a guy who had bought one, yeah.
And this is a real nice car.
I never drove in it, but he's a guy, the car he had before that was a Nissan Z-Type, a fair lady.
A Z-Type?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, they
I
were-
sure, but then she said that's an answer.
Well, the new Lancers look like they modeled it after that, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
So unless you know what to look for, you won't be able to tell the difference. Unless you hear them mash now, yeah.
Yeah, so they should have done an answer.
It's still cool?
No, no, question.
Yeah, question.
So you know how G of X is forever?
Yeah. That says X minus 2.
X minus
Right. Now what they want you to do is to draw that on the graph.
yeah.
Right, so let me just do this part first and I'll carry you guys to that part, right? Alright, so when we complete any square, right, what's the value of A? A is 1. What about B? Minus 6. And C is equal to 8. Alright, so remember we want to go to this form here. So we need to find H and K. How do we find H?
H is B.
B over 2A. So that's minus 6 over 2 by 1, which will give us what? Minus 6 over 2 is minus 3. Very good. Oops. Anyhow. What about K? How do we find K?
K is
Right, 4 by A by C minus B squared all over. What's that, sorry? Yeah, same thing as C minus B squared over 4A. So that's 4 by A by C minus B squared all over 4 by A. Right, what's 4 by 1? And 4 by 8 is therefore 32. Minus 6 squared is 36, so we minus in 36 over 4. 32 minus 36 is actually minus 4. And minus 4 divided by 4 will give us minus 1. So correct. So in the form, yeah?
minus 6 will be plus.
Right. When you square minus 6, you do get positive 36, but you are subtracting that.
Okay.
If you notice, there's a minus in front of that, right? So the square does not apply to that minus. That's a very good question, by the way. Yeah, Nick, everybody going to Cohen. He's doing the Jan 2010 multiple choice. I was going to do that tonight too, but I'm going to do that tomorrow night, so. Jan 2019. Yeah. That's alright. I think it was sticking too, so I mean, I wouldn't stick around if a chat was sticking, so I'm not hitting.
I believe by next year you will be bigger than two.
I know what bigger, but thank you. I appreciate the.
Big dog in Trinidad.
You're gonna come back next year and see this one.
Right, so if A is 1, we don't have to put that number in front of the bracket because it'll just be unnecessary and redundant. Like saying unnecessary and redundant. Minus 1. Alright, you guys got that? Alright, cool. Right, so this is the part I want to show you guys, which is very interesting. So on the same axis, draw the graph of the straight line g of x, which is x minus 2. Now to plot a straight line, we only need 2 points. So if we let x equal to 0, what's 0 minus 2? Minus 2. Right, cool. And if we let x equal to 2, what's 2 minus 2?
0.
So if x is 2, yeah, if x is 2, y is 0. So all we have to do to plot this line is to plot this, yeah? Well, yeah. You just pick points that would be on the graph. So for example, if the graph goes from 0 on the x to 6 on the x, you can't pick 7, 8, or 9. And you similarly can't pick minus 1, minus 2. You can only pick values of x between 0 and 6, right? So I picked, what's that? Very good. Right, so 0, 6, and 6, 0. Alright, so let's plot those points. So 0, 2 on the graph. Sorry, 0 is 0, 2? No. Yeah, 0 minus 2, sorry. So 0 minus 2 would be here. And what's the next one? 2, 0? Sorry, 6. What was it? 6, 0.
Yeah. That's 2, yeah, 2,
It's 2, 0. Yeah, if x is 2, y is 0, not so?
Oh, you did 2 alone.
Yeah.
But what if I go from 0 to 6?
You could do all the points. Yeah, that's fine. Right? What's 1 minus 2? Minus 1. So 1 minus 1. What's 3 minus 2? 1. So that will go here. What's 4 minus 2? 2.
But
Right?
I put in all the x values.
Yeah, I'm doing that too. 6 minus 2 is 4.
So be 0 minus 2 and then
Alright, hold on. Let's do that. Okay, if you want all the x values, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all we do is minus into 0 minus 2 is minus 2. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. Right? But once again, you don't need all 6, 7 coordinates to plot that point. You just need 2. Right, so that's what I have on my graph here. So you guys seen all the red dots? I'll take that as a yes. Yeah, this. What you looking at? These things down here?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright, let me just see if I could put a little table around that. Make it look a little presentable. Well, remember, the graph said it took values of x from 0 to 6. So I took values of x from 0 to 6. Will this thing erase? Of course, it'll erase what I don't want it to erase. Right, so remember, alright, to solve things like that, where you put things equal to each other, remember when we did?
Oh, so you should move everything and put it to the next side.
Right, but you want to use the graph.
Yeah.
On the graph, to solve it, all you have to do is look to see where the points intersect. Look to see where the curve and the line cross.
It's positive too. And so that's the equation.
Yeah, so the red line is the line x minus 2. What you confused about, Brian?
So it's x and y, come to the y value, right? So x value, okay, so in here, I did all of them, but I forgot to put the 0 in front of them, right?
It wouldn't matter.
That's what I was saying. Now, that's what I took.
Hold on, look. Look on the board.
Yeah.
If you take x is 0 and plug it inside of x minus 2, what do you get? Minus 2. If you put 1 here, 1 minus 2 is minus 1. If you put 2, you get 0, and so on. So the points would be 0 minus 2, 1 minus 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, and the last one is 6, 4. Right? So then we go on the graph and we plot those points, as can be seen by the red. Hold on, that it doesn't pass through them perfectly. Right, yeah, it's kind of off at on the bottom side of it. Let me see if I can just fix that line. It just needs to be adjusted very, very ever so slightly. Right. Okay. Cooking with gas. All right. There are 2 points. Sorry, I should have asked. Come there on the board. You're almost done. There are 2 points where the curve and the line intersect, and I'm circling them here and here. Right? What are the coordinates of those points?
2 and
2, 0,
or 2,
and
0 and 5, 3.
5, 3. Right? So to solve the equation by looking at the graph, it would simply be 2, 0 and 5, 3. Alright, guys.
That's to solve the equation.
Yeah, remember, if you put them equal to each other and you plot them, they intersect at those 2 points I have circled there. Yeah. Anybody else want to print out of this solution? 1, okay, 2, 4. Alright, everybody, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, cool. I should have enough magenta to print it. Okay, guys, we're gonna stop there for today. So here's my question. So tomorrow we also have 2 sessions. In the earlier session, so earlier today I mentioned bearings, and some of y'all seemed interested. So we could do a couple of bearings questions.
Oh yeah, bearings.
Right? But do you all also want to do multiple choice in the later session, or you want to do another big topic in the later session? What y'all feeling? Is your prep, you tell me what you're feeling.
What do you have in mind after that?
After bearings, I mean, it have vectors, it have matrices, it have circle geometry.
Circle geometry.
We could do
I like to go
Coordinate geometry. Zero C. It's not a formula. There's no formula for the intercept. Oh, x1 plus x2 over 2, and then y1 plus y2 over 2. Coordinate geometry. Alright, we'll take a look at it. I'll see, because we can't do everything. But we'll see. I'll see what's going on, right? Alright, guys. Does anybody have any questions on any of the items from today? No? Alright.
I find this a very productive class.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Alright, guys. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna stop there. Let's I'll get the printout for you guys. Aha. Alright. Yeah, that cool. Alright, so 0 viewers. Alright. Well, I had to say goodbye to nobody, right?